Now they can see us. Good evening and welcome once again to the 8 o'clock TSB News Desk, where once again we are 9 o'clock. Hey, we're always on time when we're time tripping. We are traveling through time. Me and my fellow time reporting anchors have found ourselves in the year 1993. The golden decade of the 90s had just shortly begun. No one at the time knew of the nostalgia the generation would grow to have for this period in time. Nearly 30 years later, and you will see many of the trends back then coming in full force. The baggy, colorful clothes, male stars like the Lawrence brothers and a young Leo would be rocking the parted hair look. White girls rocked loose-fit jeans and denim on denim on denim. The birth of grunge music created what some call a teenage wasteland of wannabe degenerates, listening to angsty music in the likes of Nirvana and Pearl Jam in their parents' basements. While all of this was going on, the smartest people around the world were on track to change the landscape of the world and communication as we forever known it to be the World Wide Web. As well, in this time, America had fallen in love with a sax-playing, blowjob-loving man in Bill Clinton as he was sworn into office. As well, the fictional Earth was saved from destruction by a half-Saiyan, half-Earthling named Gohan, who defeated Cell in the Cell games in Dragon Ball Z. It surely was a year to be remembered, and one that we at the Time Trippin' Desk look forward to diving into. With that said, let me introduce our Time Trippin' News team. As always, covering movies, television, toys, celebrity hot watch, and all the gossip and trends, we have Eric Likes Milk McIsaac. Eric, what do we got to look forward to on your coverage tonight?
A lot of has-beens, a lot of mediocre-looking sexy people, because apparently it wasn't that sexy of a year. I was looking at what we had to pick from, and it wasn't that good, but hey. Maybe we can get a lot of bangers of movies. It was a great year for movies. I'll give it that. Shows, it's just a matter of opinion, I guess. But yeah, movies, fucking undeniably a great year for movies.
Look forward to it. Sounds terrific. And sitting to my right, we have Ryan Kookaroots covering the biggest sports stories of the year, as well as the top chart and hits and stories to come from the music industry. Kooks, what can the folks at home expect to hear from you later on tonight?
Yeah, big year in sports for Canada in general. All right, so we'll go all over that. Also, music. We were in a funny time with music where we were transitioning from the 80s through the 90s. We have the grunge era. We have everything going on. Rap is starting to take off. So it's a very unique time in music, and we'll cover it all.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, I look forward to all of that. And of course, you got myself, Dane Crooked Cut Esplin, who will be back with you to talk about some books and comics in my comic book club, the best-selling books you might have found yourself reading under a big oak tree on a nice summer day in 1993. As well, we got some world-changing events, which I'll be covering, and some world stories, things that kept me interested in 1993, in a segment I'm now calling Around the World in 8 minutes or less. Well, I'll be hitting you with the news in 8 minutes or less, so look forward to that. So strap yourself in, get ready to go through a trip down time. Right after these quick commercial breaks from 1993, all of these are real commercials, and then we'll be back with Eric and television news.
The boob tube.
They call him the Wall. I mean, nothing gets by this guy, but Tony and I have a plan.
Now, fake to the left. Oh, way to go!
Winners practice hard and eat smart. Like this complete breakfast, including the sweet crunch of Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
They're great!
Show 'em you're a tiger.
Let's do it!
Show what you can do. The taste of Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Did you see that?
Brings out the tiger in you.
And you!
Sorry. Anyways, so I'm here with TV. 1993. So a lot of daytime television, a lot of cartoons aired that year. First up, we got Ren and Stimpy. My personal favorite. A very dark comedy show about a cat who the red Stimpy's a cat and Ren is a Chihuahua. But if you were to watch it, you wouldn't really notice because they're very poorly animated. But a very dark show, very hilarious. Me and my dad. It's one of the shows that me and my dad really connected with. I don't know why my dad or my mom let me watch that show at a very young age, but classic, always a banger. It was one of Nickelodeon's first dark, or I think it was Nickelodeon's first dark cartoon, and then it kind of got weird after that. Up next, we got Frasier. Frasier, show I didn't really ever watch too much of. That's usually when I change the channel. All I knew was too smart for me. I was too young. But they had a cool little Jack Russell dog, so that's all I know. Up next, we got Roseanne. Roseanne Barr. All I know is I think it was a family of morbidly obese trailer trash. Just kidding. I never really watched that shit. So, then we got Seinfeld. Seinfeld, still a classic show about Jews talking fast in New York. Good times. Home Improvement. Proof that even if you get convicted of possession of cocaine, you can still get a hit TV show. You guys keeping up with me here? All right. Next, we got Power Rangers. Kimberly, goddamn, still gets me wet today. You can still name all the OGs, I think. We got Billy, the Blue Ranger. Billy, Tommy, Jason, Trini, Zach, Kimberly. Did I miss anything? Yeah. Classic show. Keep it a pleasant memory. It's garbage, but it was fucking entertaining as shit back when I was a little kid. Had all the action figures. Fuck yeah. X-Files. The theme song still creeps me out. But the Alien Saga is, I think, the reason I have issues with Aliens now is because that saga was pretty fucked up. But, classic. Scully's hot. Next one. Boy Meets World. Topanga. Just a rocket, man. Can't deny that. And then we had The Nanny. Proof that even if you have an annoying ass voice, you can still get a hit TV show. And Fran Drescher still gets me wet to this day. Saved by the Bell. I call these the dark years because that was after they graduated high school and they had went on to college and then they had the new class. So it was an era that I don't even want to think about or talk about because it was after they had jumped the shark. And yeah, Rocko's Modern Life, another really disturbed Nickelodeon TV show. Not as big a hit as Ren and Stimpy, but I remember it from my childhood. It was pretty good. And Biker Mice from Mars, banger of an action figure line, but the show was kind of shit to be honest. But hey, the action figure line was fucking dynamite. Last but not least, we got Conan aired on NBC and still reigns supreme as my favorite talk show host, Coco for life. And he's actually just about to wrap up on TBS. And I don't know if he's going to be moving on to something bigger or better, but hey, he's been running the show since 93. What was that, 27 years? I don't know. 27 years. But yeah, those are all the shows that were big hits back in 93. If I missed any, go fuck yourself. But those were the ones that I liked the best. They're the ones that I could riff off of. So yeah, that's what we got.
That's what people's favorites were.
Oh yeah, in the chats, hit us up with what your favorites were back in 93 if you were alive. Lots of the people I don't think were even alive yet or were just still pissing and shit in the bed. So they probably weren't watching much TV. So, but yeah, that's what we got for TV. Next up, we got Kooksy on music, I think. Yep. Sports. Next, we got Kooksy with sports.
Snacks in my house, they were kid stuff until one day.
It's Cool Whip time, baby.
Was this really happening?
Hey, I'm Mr. Cool Whip, the hippest in town. To make your snacks the best around. A little Cool Whip, a cookie or two, and baby, your snacks will be so good.
With Cool Whip, those boring snacks would never be the same.
How'd you do that?
Well,
it's Cool Whip time, baby.
And welcome back, everyone, from that commercial break. You're here with Kooks for Sports. It's 1993. We're taking a little trip through time. The 1993 Super Bowl was won by the Dallas Cowboys 52-17 over the Buffalo Bills, with Troy Aikman winning the MVP. The dominance of the Cowboys in the 90s, one would have to assume that the slogan, Make America's Team Great Again, will eventually become a necessity. P.S. How awful would it be to be a Bills fan? Sorry if you are. Get a table, jump through it, I don't give a fuck. Vander Holyfield defeated Riddick Bowe to regain the unified world heavyweight title in a 12-round decision. More interesting news, though, a man attached to a giant fan and a parachute crashed into the ring during the 7th round. He was immediately swarmed by security and took quite the beating. Upon being released from the hospital, he joked, "It was a heavyweight fight and I was the only one who got knocked out." That's a real quote. That's not a joke I wrote. Continuing in the world of fighting, though, a brand new mixed martial arts competition called the Ultimate Fighting Championship made its debut in Colorado. The no-holds-barred action was presented as a Mortal Kombat-style tournament with no rules inside of an octagon. There's absolutely 0% chance this clusterfuck of a show will ever catch on and be anything important at all. I guarantee it won't. The Chicago Bulls beat the Phoenix Suns in 6 games to win their 3rd straight NBA title. Michael Jordan would surprisingly retire from the sport shortly after, walking away as one of the most dynamic players of all time. And if I know one thing about Michael Jordan, it's he's a man of his word. There's no chance he will ever be back. 0. Let's stop talking about him now. He has retired. His career is over. The Montreal Canadiens completed a gentleman's sweep of the Los Angeles Kings in 5 games to win the Stanley Cup. In other news, Canada as a country has decided that 1993 will be the last year they will win a Stanley Cup for at least 28 more, despite the majority of the players coming from Canada itself. Those crazy Canucks. Keeping things Canadian, though, the Toronto Blue Jays would win their 2nd consecutive World Series in 6 games over the Philadelphia Phillies thanks to Joe Carter's walk-off home run. That's right, Toronto would win the championship in America's game back-to-back and then take off 28 years from winning an ice hockey trophy. And that's all I have for sports. Up next, we got Dane, who's going to talk to you about the book club.
When you get up in the morning and you want some tasty fun.
Go for Sugar Bear and Golden Crisp, the golden tasting one. With a touch of golden honey for a taste of solid gold. Crispy crunch we got a munch makes a golden taste explode.
Can't get enough of that golden taste. Can't get enough golden crisp.
So to make your morning golden, get the flavor going fast. It's Golden Crisp cereal, the golden tasting blast.
Can't get enough of that golden taste. Can't get enough golden crisp.
It's the golden tasting part of this complete breakfast.
All right, welcome back to Time Trippin' at the TSB News Desk. If you are joining us, we are discussing the year 1993, and you're here with me and Crooked Cut, and we're here to talk about the many books and literary works, character introductions of the year 1993. You may have found yourself reading these books if you were a nerd. Back in 1993, we start with The Giver. 1993 young dystopian novel by Lewis Lowry, where people are colorblind and don't have feelings, so everyone is the same or some shit. Then the main character starts seeing colors and having feelings for, guess what? A girl. Who would have thought? To be honest, I don't really know what this was about. You're assigned it in school, but I chose like The Chrysalids or some other shit. It was a movie with Jeff Bridges, so if you get assigned the book, just watch that. Or watch Equilibrium with Christian Bale. I feel it's the same story, but one has kung fu guns and the other doesn't. So the decision's pretty easy. Next up, we got Along Came a Spider, a crime thriller and the first novel in James Peterson's series about forensic psychologist Alex Cross, the most generic white-sounding name ever, though an African-American character who in the movie adaptation of the same name is played by Morgan Freeman. So don't judge a book by the main character's name or skin. There's a quote there or something. Another popular book, you got John Grisham, The Client, a legal thriller. I know nothing about this book, and there was a movie adaptation with Tommy Lee Jones and Susan Sarandon. That's all I got on this book. Next, The Virgin Suicides, a movie that fucked me up watching it and is basically an angsty, depressed girl's favorite book/movie. Written by Jeffrey Eugenides. I always say that name wrong. An author who I've now read 2 books of, which for me, reading a book without pictures is near impossible. So shout out to Claire for that. A poetic tragedy and a story of a group of suicidal sisters and the neighborhood boys who loved them and are scarred for life because of their fucking actions.
Fucking good movie.
Good movie. Fantastic movie, fantastic book. Go watch or read it. Either or. Some other quickly ones to give a shout out. Top the best-selling list that year. Voyager, the 3rd book in the Outlander series. Girl Interrupted, a 1993 memoir by Susan Kaysen. As well, rightfully placed last, The Last Wished, the 2nd published group of short stories about Geralt of Rivia, a.k.a. The Witcher, the popular video game franchise and now Netflix series, starring Superman himself. From novels and books to the world of comics, a couple popular storylines played out in the year of 1993, including the reign of Superman, or reign of Supermen. Superman had just died previously by Doomsday, getting his shit kicked in, and the world entered a world without Superman. And because of that, a bunch of people needed to rise up. You got Superboy, Steel, which Shaq played a movie of. I think there was a robot Superman at a time. It was pretty terrible. And then it just turned out Superman wasn't actually dead. He was just in a Kryptonian coma. And I guess when you're in a Kryptonian coma, you grow a mullet because he came back alive with a mullet. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty 90s. Then you got Maximum Carnage, a storyline where Carnage is doing maximum carnage. Who would have thought? Not me. I have the first issue of this storyline. I don't think it's worth anything, though. Also got turned into a SNES video game. Carnage is all right. He's no Venom, though, so we move on. And the last big comic storyline of the year was also introduction of a now legendary character because he's very memeable because of 2 movies. You got Bane and the first appearance in Batman Nightfall storyline, an arc where Batman gets absolutely fucked up by Bane in hand-to-hand combat, and Bane breaks his back over his knee. Bane breaks Batman's back over his knee. And similar to the Superman arc, it then led to a bunch of story arcs where people had to try to be the next Batman, including Azrael, and I think Nightwing tried it. I don't know. It was pretty lame. Again, they needed Batman back, so he came back. And lastly, a shout out to some other comic book characters created in 1903, a very short list. You got Hellboy and Static. Hellboy, a character from multiple movies. The Guillermo del Toro ones are fantastic. Static Shock had a brief popularity with a Saturday morning cartoon show called Static Shock. It was all right. I watched it. But that wraps up the literary world and comic books and comic book corner, whatever I called this. Book club? Crooked Cut Book Club. That's a fucking tongue twister. I don't even read books. I watch movies. So watch any of the movie adaptations of these books. I'll tell you that. And let's get the time tripping news. Keep on flowing with Eric and celebrity or movie? Celebrities.
Toys.
Celebrity, style, trends, fashion, you name it. Yeah. That's what's up.
Hershey! H-E-R-S-H-E-Y. Hershey's the original. Here's the reason why. Cause there ain't nothing, nothing gooey, just pure milk chocolate, nothing else will do. Nothing funky, just pure milk chocolate. Nothing kooky, just pure milk chocolate. H-E-R-S-H-E-Y. It's great milk chocolate with nothing inside. Can you handle it? It's pure milk chocolate. Can you handle it? Smooth and delicious. Can you handle it? So solid and sweet. It's what we think is fun to eat. Just pure milk chocolate. Can you handle it?
Yo, what's up? Eric here with Style, Toys, Hotties. Just not a real professionally made group. Just you got to throw it all into one. You know, got to get it out there. So we got Style first. It was 1993. It was plaid, fucking flannel, just like these 2 fucks went with. Yeah, it was the grunge era. It was just plaid shorts, just boots, like army boots. Denim was bigger than fuck. Kids were wearing bright, outrageous colors. My dad was showing me some pictures of what I was wearing back in 93. It was just neon, fucking bowl cuts, turtlenecks, acid wash jeans were the big hits. Coveralls, mom jeans were at their fucking peak. It was a lot of Beverly Hills 90210. So just picture just bright colors, a lot of acid wash, a lot of just, grunge era looking shit. That's basically all I had. That's all I had to work with. There wasn't much going on there, but yeah, that was the style back in 1993. So, good times. Up next, we got Hotties. Fucking Hotties, man. Love this segment because it gets me going looking at hot women and mediocre looking men. But this year wasn't too bad. Actually, it was kind of, for men it was kind of weak, but for girls, oh shit! I'll tell you what. Cindy Crawford, the hottie who made having a big fat mole on your face look sexy. She was looking good. She was a supermodel. I think she was like a bit of an actress, but mostly she was just a model. Then we had Richard Gere up next. Silver Fox, guy who played a whore in American Gigolo, and then went on to fall in love with a whore in Pretty Woman. But hey, man, he's still looking good. He's not a silver fox. He's just straight white. But back then, even in '93, he was the silver fox. Up next, we got Claudia Schiffer. Didn't really know much about her. I always seen shit about her, but I didn't kind of heard about her. But all I looked up was that she was the hottie from who Chevy Chase was always hitting up in the vacation movies. And yeah, I think she was from the UK or Germany. I don't know. I probably should do a little more fucking research on this, but yeah, hey, blonde hottie. What the fuck else do you want from me? Luke Perry, the guy who gave other guys with 5 heads hope back in the 90s. He was hot off of Beverly Hills 90210 and the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, and yeah. Just a fucking huge forehead, big hair, just a big old head. Up next, we got my personal favorite, Laura Dern, who recently won an Oscar for her Best Supporting Actress role. But I'll always remember her as Ellie from Jurassic Park, the pink-shirted, sexy-booted, short shorts, fuck yeah, chick from Jurassic Park. So, she was running from dinosaurs, and she was winning over hearts back in '93. And last but definitely not least, is we got Johnny Depp. He was hot off of Benny and June, What's Eating Gilbert Grape. He was long-haired, dreamy-eyed, just a heartthrob. He's in his 50s now, and fuck, he's still getting girls wet, I tell you. So yeah, that's it for Hotties. Like I said, it was kind of a chintzy year for Hotties, but what can you do? Up next, we got... Oh, fuck. Fucking banged my elbow. Up next, we got toys. Motherfucker, that hurt. We got the Beanie Babies. Stuffed animals that, if you remove the tag, they were fucking useless and worthless. Then we got the Jurassic Park Action Command Compound, which I had as a kid, and I think my parents had to take out a loan to afford it for me and my brother, but it was fucking worth it. I think my little brother still has it in his bedroom, and it gave me hours and hours of satisfaction as a kid because that was a fucking banger of a toy. Fuck my fucking elbow. Next we got Little Tykes Minivan. I'm pretty sure because all the girls who owned it are now in their 30s are... Fuck, man, that hurts so much. Sorry. Yeah. All the girls who own it now are in their early 30s and getting DUIs now. So that's all that van produced. We got the soft stuffed potato head. I'm not even going to talk about that one because I guess Mr. Potato Head's a touchy subject with today's culture. After that, we got the Cabbage Patch Kids Teeny Weeny Preemies, which I'm just assuming were Cabbage Patch miscarriages. I don't really know much about that one, but it sounds disgusting. And we got a doozy one. We got Earring Magic Ken. It was an attempt to make Ken look sexier and more posh, but it just made him look 100% gay. He just looks like a closeted gay man. But yeah. That's it for Hotties, style, and toys from Eric.
What a collection.
What a banger. What a collection we got here. Up next, we got Kooks with music. Blah.
It's amazing fruit. Yeah, it's amazing fruit. It's
Presenting the one and only fruit-bearing gummy bears. Made with the goodness of real fruit juice, they're called Amazing Fruit.
Amazing fruit, amazing fruit, amazing fruit.
New Amazing Fruit is so fruity, you can hardly bear it. Tropical flavors, too.
And we're back, and it's time to talk about music. Behind the Music, 1993. All right. So we're going to start off with some of the best news stories of 1993. Bobby Brown was arrested in Augusta, Georgia for simulating a sex act on stage during a performance. When questioned by the police, he seemed pretty relieved, you guys. He was like, oh, that's what this is about? Okay, cool. Speaking about domestic assault, Whitney Houston's soundtrack for the movie Bodyguard continued to dominate the charts throughout the beginning of 1993. It spent a total of 14 weeks at number 1. At a Lollapalooza concert in Philadelphia, Rage Against the Machine used their entire set to protest that their song, Killing in the Name, was banned from the radio. They did this by getting naked, using only guitar feedback noise for the entire 14-minute set. They painted PMRC across their chests, and they put electrical tape over their mouths. Unfortunately for them, most of the crowd just thought they accidentally went to the Bjork concert instead, so it didn't overly work. Rick Astley, good old Rick, retired from music at the tender age of 27 after a 5-year career. Never gonna give you up my ass, eh, Rick? All right. Snoop Dogg's debut album, Doggy Style, sold over 800,000 copies in the very first week. Absolutely infuriating the whites. Also in rap music, Sir Mix-a-Lot won the Grammy for Best Solo Rap Performance for his controversial song, Baby Got Back. This, coincidentally enough, also infuriated the whites. Eric Clapton dominated the Grammys, however. He won Song of the Year, Record of the Year, and Album of the Year due to the success of the song Tears from Heaven from his Unplugged album. Eric did unfortunately forget to thank his housekeeper in all of his acceptance speeches. Shit, okay, that was bad. Okay, all right, the 3 most important, so we're going to do this every time Trippin now. In my opinion, the most important albums of 1993 were as followed. Number 3, Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style. West Coast, Best Coast, agree or disagree, the Dogfather's debut was one of the most important in the entire era of gangster rap. All right, some bangers from that album include Ain't No Fun If the Homies Can't Have None, Lodi Dodi, That's Shiznit, and everyone's favorite Snoop Dogg song that was born before the year 1998 is Gin and Juice. All right. Yeah. Number 2, Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers. This is the most important East Coast rap album of all time. I'm sorry to Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie. Sorry, you guys. But this was the most important hip-hop album of all time. Fight me if you disagree. I don't care. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. All 9 members contributed on this classic. You had Protect Your Neck. You had Method Man. You had Cream. You had Can It Be So Simple. All on this album. But number 1, in first place, most important album, 1993, was Nirvana, In Utero. It was the birth of grunge music itself. R.I.P. Kurt Cobain. What else is going to be number 1? You might think that like the musical revolution, the grunge music itself overshadowed how good the music actually was. But Nirvana is historically just one of the greatest rock bands of all time. I don't care what category of rock music you put them into. All right, fantastic writing. Thanks. Fantastic writing on this entire thing. You get the album cover up. Nice. Yeah. Producing on the fly, guys. Unreal writing. It was the follow-up album for them, and they didn't disappoint. You had Heart Shaped Box. You had All Apologies. You had Rape Me. You had Penny Royalty. All in this album. Crazy album. Number 1 most important album in 1993. And that brings a wrap to 1993's music. We could do a 2-hour show on it, but we don't want to. What's coming up next?
Video game top 10.
All right, so stay tuned. We got a video game top 10 coming up next from Dane.
It doesn't matter what comes, sex feels better in life. With men's fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you, staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better, Mentos freshness. Fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
Oh, almost crunched my balls. All right, and we're back. And from there, we move on to video games. With my video game top 10, arcade top 10, whatever we do, I get to talk about another one of my loves. As the year 1993 home consoles were becoming more and more popular, Nintendo was a household name. Sega was now in the market, and plenty of other home consoles were coming and going as the years. Everybody was trying to get into the craze, so you had things like the Atari Jaguar, one of the worst home consoles ever, and Atari's last ditch before they went bankrupt years later. And to do this, we were going to do this in a video game arcade top 10 style. Wait, they never actually did lists on that show? Then why was it called that? I still question that to this day. But starting with number 10. The movie may have been number 1 in the world, but the video game was complete dog shit. Yes, rounding out the list in 1993, I'm giving the number 10 spot to Jurassic Park, the video game. Oh. The game is near impossible and just frustrating to play, and I fucking hated it as a child. Number 9, NBA Jam. You played basketball and the ball lit up on fire if you were good. What more do I need to say about this fantastic game? Number 8, I'm giving it to Mega Man X, the first Mega Man game to be in the 16-bit era on the Super Nintendo. It was a banger, but Mega Man games are so fucking hard and infuriating that you only actually beat 1, maybe 2 levels. So I'm giving it the number 8 spot. The 7th spot is kind of a cheat because this game is just a collection of other video games on one cartridge, and that's the Super Mario All-Stars. If you had this as a kid, you were a lucky, spoiled son of a bitch, and you better believe I had this game. It contained all 3 original Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3, and it was the only way to get Mario Brothers 2 in North America, which is a weird, just wacky game if you've ever played it, unlike all the other Marios. Just missing out in the top 5 of games in 1993, I'm giving the 6th place to Mortal Kombat 2. That's right, the sequel to Mortal Kombat, if you didn't know that, you dumb fuck. This game was great if your parents weren't little bitches and didn't let you play it because of all the violence and bone pulling out of spines. But really, you could just do friendship KOs where you turn people into teddy bears too. Character list was fantastic, though because of recent movie kind of sucked, I didn't put it in the top 5. If the movie was good, I'd probably be hyped on Mortal Kombat right now. So which game did make the top 5? Rounding it out, I'm giving it to the main man himself, the little Link. The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, developed for the Game Boy, the first Zelda game to be so, and the 4th installment of the series. This game was a must-have if you had a Game Boy. It basically came with the Game Boy. Number 4, Do a Barrel Roll. Star Fox and friends were introduced to the world in 1993 with this 3D flying, mech piloting, battling game that fucking blew me away as a kid. It was one of the first games of 3D graphics that I really remember. And then again with Star Fox 64, which was an even bigger banger, but we'll get to that when we get to the N64 era. This game was pure fire, not too hard, lots of fun, classic fun. And now we come to the top 3 video games of the year, beginning with a game that would go on to be cloned and repurposed in so many ways it's impossible to keep count. Doom, one of the first first-person shooter games. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Created for the PC, it came out on a floppy disk, and you better believe again that we owned it on a floppy disk. But this game didn't make your dick floppy. It made that fucking thing hard, baby.
Hard drive.
Oh, turned it into a hard drive. Doom changed video games forever, basically. Just missing out on the number 1 spot is a game here purely for nostalgia reasons. It goes to the Disney adaptation and one of the best movie video game adaptations ever done. It is Aladdin. On Sega or Nintendo, it didn't matter. This game was a must-have, still holds up. The Magic Carpet Ride level was one that will hold a place in many children's hearts as either one that they never got past or one where you did and you're just fuck yeah, you little piece of shit, brother. You'll never do what I just did. And finally, the number one spot. This game is still, to this day, my favorite video game of all time. If you have seen my computer background, my phone background for the past 15 years, you would have seen this game's box art. It is Secret of Mana for the Super Nintendo, a JRPG classic, unbelievably sophisticated for its time. The game's a masterpiece, story, music, design, you name it. I fucking love it. I play it constantly. When I seen it was released in this year, it was a goddamn no-brainer. This game is number one all time. Fuck you if you say otherwise. And there it is, the top 10 video games of 1993. What did you think of the list? What was your favorite? Do you have any memories of playing any of these games? Let us know in the chat. But my time is gone. After this, we are coming back with Eric and all the biggest movie news of 1993.
We join Ronald, still searching for Grimace's voice.
On your right, Scary Mountain. 12,000 feet of solid.
Frozen yogurt.
Grimace's voice!
The hell, Ronald? It's in there. Let's go. Will Ronald save Grimace's voice, or will it be too late?
It'll be too late.
Bruce, you'll know M Squad equipment. This video cam is actually binoculars. And this toy calculator? A secret document stapler. One toy comes with every McDonald's Happy Meal we buy. And this camera? A camera, Bruce. This is a commercial.
Hello, people. Just give me a second. Don't do this to me. Just me a sip of my drinky.
And this is the edit right here.
And this is where we edit. And edit. So, I'm Eric. Again, hello. I'm here with movies this time. I'm just going to hit you up with a couple of heavy hitters this year. We don't have any graphics for this one, but we will in post, but that's okay. No, not the heavy hitters.
Oh, I see.
So the heavy hitters this year. By heavy hitters, I mean the hits that hit heavy. We got Sleepless in Seattle. It was a sequel to You've Got Mail, I think. Or no, it was a prequel to You've Got Mail.
Is that real?
No. I just never watched these movies, so I don't really know what they're about. We got The Firm, which is with Tom Cruise, where he's running fast and he's a lawyer. And we got Mrs. Doubtfire, a movie about Robin Williams in drag trying to win back Sally Field. Ugh. As he's up against my James Bond, Pierce Brosnan. So who would you rather fuck? Pierce Brosnan or Robin Williams? Not a believable movie. Anyways, I just want to get those out of the way because those are the movies that were the heavy hitters that year that I don't give a fuck about. For the best picture, we got Unforgiven. It was a movie about, I watched it once when I was really young, about a guy who cuts up a hooker and Clint Eastwood has to come and kill the guy who kills the guy. I don't remember. I never really watched it. My dad made me watch it once when I was a kid on TBS. At the Oscars, Al Pacino won Best Oscar for Scent of a Woman, where he plays a blind dude. And probably the most controversial Oscar win of all time, Marissa Tomei wins for Best Supporting Actress for her role in My Cousin Vinny. Unforgiven should be named the people who fucking nominated her for that, because that was just not acceptable. Because I've seen My Cousin Vinny, and it was not Oscar worthy. Anyways, those are the heavy hitters. I just wanted to get those out of the way because I don't give two shits about them. Now we're into the bangers / favorites as I wrote them on my fucking little list here. So first we got Dazed and Confused. Fucking heater of a movie. Goddamn. Last day of school, 1976, sorry. Just a goddamn banger of a fucking soundtrack. Heater of a movie. About guys cruising around, beating grade 9 kids' asses, and just good times. Reminded me of my high school experience because, yeah, it was just a good time. Up next, we got The Sandlot. Movie about a bunch of kids. I think it was set in the 60s. They play baseball in a field, and their Babe Ruth ball gets stolen by a big bull mastiff, and they have to get it back, and it's just wacky time. My Auntie Chris used to fucking play this movie in my cabin all the time. My cousin Scott was a big fan of it, and it was just a very good movie. Nostalgic as fuck for me. This Boy's Life. Another heater of a movie. If you ever want to see a clip, or if you ever want to see a movie where Robert De Niro beats the living piss out of Leonardo DiCaprio, rent this movie, because that happens. It's about Leonardo DiCaprio, and his dad his stepdad is Robert De Niro, and he's abusive, and it's just a good movie. Me and these two guys just watched the other day. Coneheads, fucking banger, man. Literally every cameo you can think of. You got Drew Carey, you got Sinbad, Adam Sandler, an SNL skit that got turned into a movie back when that was a thing, and just a fucking so nostalgic and just fucking hilarious. Dan Aykroyd, Jane Curtin, and the hot sister from Dazed and Confused just kill it. Very good movie. Last Action Hero, very good movie too. Arnold Schwarzenegger basically making fun of himself for an hour and a half. It's set in a world where action movies are just being made fun of themselves, basically. And yeah, just a good movie. It was a box office bomb, but always held a soft spot in my heart because it was such a fucking good movie. Up next thing, we got Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park? Mm-hmm. We got Jurassic Park. Oh. You like that? You like that? Yeah. Jurassic Park, man. Oh. Don't even get me started on this movie, man. It's been my fucking childhood. My parents, anyone that knows me knows when I was a kid, I was soggy for Jurassic Park action figures. When the sequels all came out, that's all I would do is just get the action figures, and that was my favorite thing to do, was watch those movies and reenact the scenes with my little action figures. Joy Cochran knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, Heater. Movie about a group of people. They go to this. They start an amusement park with real life dinosaurs, and just shit gets wacky. Also, a movie about probably the worst grandfather in history, what the fuck was the doctor's name? John Hammond. John Hammond lets his grandkids loose in this fucking Jurassic Park world.
He spared no expense.
But he spared no expense. Everyone knows what Jurassic Park is about. Fucking dinosaurs. Like it was a cinematic achievement because the CGI was so mind-boggling and just realistic and just still holds up. Very shitty sequels though, but the first one holds true. Up next, we got The Good Son. If you ever want to see a movie where Macaulay Culkin dies, you could watch My Girl or you could watch The Good Son. It's up to you. One, he dies and you cry. The other, you die and he fucking laughs. And this is The Good Son, where he plays an evil little fucker, and Elijah Wood plays his cousin, comes to visit him, and his cousin realizes that Macaulay Culkin is just an evil little shit and kills people for fun, and just a fucking wacky movie. Up next, we got Hocus Pocus. Classic Halloween movie. Still holds up, but not really. But holds up because of how fucking corny it is and shit. Good times. It made me actually think that Sarah Jessica Parker was hot for a minute, but then I realized what she looked like without makeup, and it made me fucking disgusted. And last, but probably least, because I don't even know this is on here, I just thought it was kind of funny. It's called Alive. A movie about I can't remember where they're from, but there was a rugby team. They crash landed in the Andes Mountains, and then they're resorting to eating each other. What the fuck kind of? I can't remember where they're from, but anyways, yeah. This rugby team crash lands in the mountains. They resorted to eating each other, and yeah, that's how they stay alive. And yeah, that's about it. So that's it for movies. Sorry. The Kooks is signaling to me that Wayne's World 2 came out. Right. I should mention that. Wayne's World 2. Sequel to one of the best movies ever. Not as good as the first. The only good part about it was the Chris Farley cameo, but yeah. So that's it for movies.
Around the World in 8 minutes or less.
Around the World in 8 minutes less. Or 8 minutes or less is up next. And here we go. Commercial time. Boop.
I want to remember you as I've always known you. So
Dying for a little excitement?
carefree.
Maybe it's time to give Carefree the nod. See what a little bursting bubblegum flavor can do for you. Juicy Carefree bubblegum, bursting with flavor.
In Jurassic Park, dinosaurs are on the loose, but at McDonald's you'll find them on 6 Jurassic Park Electric Cups. Get one free when you buy a large drink or dino-sized extra value meal. But catch them quick, before they're extinct.
Welcome back once again with your Time Trippin' Anchors. We're here with the first installment of my new way of presenting world news and things I find fascinating in what we call Around the World in 8 Minutes or Less with me, Crooked Cut. So let's bring up the clock and get this started and see what I can get through. Perhaps all of it, perhaps some of it. Let's see. Boom. All right. In 1993, Bill Clinton is sworn in as the 42nd President of the United States, winning the election and turning the country towards a democratic, sax-loving president, who would then later be kicked out for office by impeachment due to sex scandal with Monica Lewinsky. But as he said, he did not have sexual relations with that woman. That was a couple years later, though, in his second term. As of now, it was all smooth sailing for old Billy Boy. Well, not entirely, as the U.S. was dealing with the Waco siege. In the first few months of 1993, a law enforcement siege with a cult-like group led by David Koresh in Texas happened. The siege lasted 51 days. Ending in a raid and eventual fire of the facility, killing 76 people in total. Kind of dark time in American history. As well, let's stay on the dark times with another horrific event. The World Trade Center bombing occurred in February of 1993 and was declared a terrorist attack on the country when a truck bomb detonated in the parking lot of the building, hoping to bring down the towers. Sure enough, we wouldn't see the end of that. But we'll be talking about that in another year. Remember, jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams. Moving to lighter news, Dave Thomas, founder of Wendy's, went back to get his GED in 1993 for fear if people would look up to a high school dropout and be inspired, when in reality, all high school dropouts now just work for Wendy's. James Scott is arrested for causing a massive flood in Mississippi River at the West Quincy, Missouri. As part of the Great Flood in 1993 when he destroyed a levee in the hopes of separating himself from his wife, in hopes that he could party, fish, and have an affair. He's now serving life in prison for causing a catastrophe that damaged a town. Too bad. Now he's getting fucked in the ass instead of having an affair. Stamps of Elvis were made in 1993, and stamp and Elvis enthusiasts would send letters to the wrong address so that letters would come back stamped "Return to Sender" as a celebration of sorts, as it was a song and name of one of Elvis's hits. Kind of weird story. 1993 marked the first year a man was exonerated of murder from DNA evidence. In a strange turn of events, it would later turn out the man who did commit the crime was in the cell next to the man. Crazy. So he still did time. What do I got? 5 minutes left? We're killing this. 1993, we got the Barbie Liberation Organization. They get together and secretly change the voice boxes on talking G.I. Joe action figures and Barbie dolls, so that Barbie dolls would say things like, "Vengeance is mine," and G.I. Joes would say, "The beach is the place for summer," in a protest of gender stereotypes, or some shit, I don't know. Gary Hoy, while trying to rent out or show a place to renters on the 24th floor of a Toronto apartment building, he was trying to show that the windows were unbreakable by hurling his body and shoulder into the window, as he had done several times before. Only this instance, the entire window frame fell out of the building, including Gary, who fell 24 floors to his death. All right, let's speed it up. Nelson Mandela gets the Nobel Peace Prize for the first human embryo is cloned. The Pentium processor is invented for you fucking science nerds. Both in science news, the International Space Station is almost axed but survives by one vote, and the Space Shuttle Endeavour mission is successful at fixing the Hubble Space Telescope, one of Earth's greatest inventions in my opinion. The World Wide Web is invented, and communications and information delivery is changed forever as the entire world becomes connected in a new way, and immediately people start using it for sharing porn and jerking off. We truly are a fascinating species. Speaking of weirdos, Michael Jackson is investigated for the first time for child sexual abuse. But come on, he made Thriller, man. Thriller. I stole that joke from Dave Chappelle. And in 1993, the world was saved by Gohan, as I mentioned, doing a one-handed father-son Kamehameha, going on Super Saiyan 2, and finally defeating Cell and winning the Cell games, showing that he is the world's strongest. Fuck you, Vegeta. I wouldn't see this episode until like 1998 when it aired in North America, but it was a life-changing moment for young Dane. And then when Gohan did that, he immediately became a big pussy bitch, and it really hurt me in my soul. All right, what do we got? 3 minutes? Boom. I said it may take less, it may take more, but those are some fascinating stories of around the world that I found interesting. And there it was, 8 minutes or less with Crooked Cut. And we will be back with a weekend update, followed by a little hang with you, the chat, to discuss the year. Yeah.
This is a world-famous inventor.
Can he guess what's new about Cinnamon Toast Crunch? They put it on a stick.
No way! It's got cinnamon swirls.
They added a hole.
I hate to burst this bubble. Any kid can see. Cinnamon Toast Crunch now has cinnamon swirls.
For more cinnamon and sugar taste you can really see. The swirl part of this complete breakfast. See?
He's got the idea.
All right. You've just seen all of our personal segments on the year 1993. I hope you learned yourself a little something. It's now time to give you the Time Trippin' update from your news anchors here today. Who wants to start it off?
Let's go, Eric, down the line.
Something a little sippy whippy here. Ugh. All right. A hit in 1993 was Dazed and Confused. They're finally making a sequel to it. It's called Dazed and Confused 2, Waking Up at Bill Cosby's House. Set to start filming in 3 to 10 years from now, when Bill Cosby is released from jail.
In other news, it's currently 1993, and everyone still thinks Bill Cosby's a really, really great guy.
2 movies premiered about pesky little Irish shits who won't give up. In 1993, first you had The Leprechaun, starring Warwick Davis, and then you had Rudy, starring Sean Astin.
In 1993, there were 3 movies about little blonde wacky kids acting like jerks and tormenting their family. First is The Good Son, where Macaulay Culkin plays an evil little shit. The second is Dennis the Menace, where Dennis torments his neighbor Mr. Wilson. And the third is What's Eating Gilbert Grape, where Leonardo DiCaprio plays a retard.
A new executive order requires the United States Air Force to allow female pilots of warplanes. When asked about his decision to allow women to fly these fighters for the very first time, a startled President Clinton quickly said, "I did not have sexual relations with that female pilot."
Damn it! I knew I'd forget that. But you may have not even heard that last joke by me because my mic wasn't on, but now it is. In 1893, a famous feminist said that by 1993, all food would be synthetic, therefore eliminating women from the kitchen. Oh, you dumb bitch.
I was having trouble sleeping, so I asked... So Tom Hanks from Philadelphia gave me a sleeping pill. Now I have sleeping aids.
A new television station known as the Food Network has made its broadcast debut. This new network, combined with smaller, more compact televisions that are more affordable, will hopefully finally end the American epidemic of women leaving the kitchen.
In 1993, the World Trade Centers were bombed. And as an act, a group got together to raise security in an efforts to never forget this action. Too bad in 2001 they forgot that action. But let's never forget, jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams.
I just want to say that my dad bought me a Easy Bake Oven and a super earring Ken when I was a kid, and now I'm gay.
And then that's the weekend update.
And that's the Time Trippin' update, where we hit you with some
Sorry, Laura.
obscure jokes. And now, this is basically the end of the show. If you've been tuning in to the Time Trippin' Desk, thank you very much. We are the Spare Bedroom. We hit this up every Sunday at 8 p.m. Once a month, we do a Time Trippin'. Next week, we will be coming at you with a three-way debate. Back to our regular programming. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe now with Twitch Prime. It helps our channel out as well. If you missed the beginning of this show, don't worry. I'll have it up on YouTube tomorrow with a bit tighter edit. As well, go watch all our other content on youtube.com/thesparebedroom.
The poll is closed. What are we doing?
2,000.
Yes.
Year 2000.
Fucking money, baby.
All right.
I
The
voted
winner
for
of the
2000.
poll is the year 2000. We'll be hitting it with you with some Y2K.
What a good year.
Great year.
The year Mississippi opened up. And the year... No, Aiden was born in 1999.
Another year we were all alive, thriving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look forward to that a month from now. But again, you got a three-way debate coming at you next week. Maybe we'll do
the interview next, actually.
We'll look at the schedule and see what it is. I actually thought it was game show. So that's
Game shows week one or two.
Well, we'll figure it out.
Like I said, we're not fucking good at what we do.
No. we took a month off. We're back.
Yeah.
And
So it might be the guest show, it might be the three-way, or it might be game show.
Yeah.
We actually don't really know right now.
Could be any of the other shows we do, just not this one.
And
the only promise we can make is Time Trippin' will not be next week.
That is true.
Yeah, time for another month, so we'll be a little bit more prepared next time.
Maybe we'll get together on a Thursday, play Jackbox. I don't know. We'll see about that too. But just expect things from us. That's why you got to subscribe. That's why you got to follow. That's why you got to hit that like button.
We're filming Tarbush on Saturday.
Follow along, people.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/thesparebedroom, Twitch.tv/thesparebedroom, Spotify The Spare Bedroom, iTunes Music The Spare Bedroom, Redbubble.com The Spare Bedroom. Buy some merch.
Yeah, I gotta buy some shit.
We are everywhere. We are always there. Thank you for tuning in. This has been another episode of the Spare Bedroom Show, coming at you live from a spare bedroom with myself, Crooked Cut, Eric Lake, Milk McIsaac, and Ryan Kookaroots. Thank you for tuning in, anybody. Sorry we were a little late, but get the fuck out of our room.
Producing is a bitch.
Bye. Run a 1-minute ad.